With the Ingham County sentencing over, what's next for Larry Nassar? Nassar will probably never see the inside of a state prison because he first has to serve 60 years in a federal prison. Defense attorney and former Cooley Law School professor Ron Brett says that's probably the safest place for him to be. Marcus Dash talked with a legal expert about where he may end up serving his time behind bars and what dangers he may face.
White-collar criminals. This is the kind of inmate that populates the federal prison. Very few murderers, and so, frankly, it's a safer group of inmates, if you could imagine such a thing.
Ron Bretz represented a lot of sex offenders at the state level. Many of them told him they were often made examples of by other state prison inmates. Bretz says Nassar won't be in the company of those inmates.
If a child sex abuser is murdered in prison, it's not going to be by another sex offender. It's going to be by a murderer, often somebody who's serving first-degree murder, which is life without parole. So there's nothing you can do to him. He'll do it right out in the open. It makes him a hero among the prisoners.
Bretz says even though the federal prison will be safer than the state prison, Nassar will still be seen as the lowest on the totem pole of inmates and will have to consider asking for isolation.
While that is done to protect him, it's a worse punishment than the regular people in prison. Why? Because in isolation, you sit in a cell all by yourself for 23 hours a day, and you get 1 hour a day to, as they say, walk the yard.
Even if Nassar doesn't want to be in isolation, Bretz says the Federal Bureau of Prisons may give him no choice and put him in protective custody anyways.
They don't want somebody being murdered in their prison, if for only reason that it makes them look bad. I like to think they have higher reasons for not wanting a murder in their prison, but they don't. So they're going to go out of their way to protect him, I believe.
And that was Marcus Dash reporting. We checked with the Michigan Department of Corrections, and they say Nassar will stay in a county jail until after the Ingham County sentencing and will then be headed to a federal prison. The state says Nassar will be put in a high-profile protective custody if he makes it to a state prison.